Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Ransom, and welcome to my kitchen. Weight is an exceedingly important issue to address with your patients. Sometimes it's a touchy thing, and your patients may be a little bit defensive. They've probably been a struggle for many years. So I usually start off with telling them that how they got to the weight that they're at is unique, and that everybody's story is different. They may have been heavy as an infant and slowly gained weight all along. Weight gain might have started at puberty, or maybe 50 pounds with the birth of each child, or when they changed jobs, started gaining 10 pounds a year, and they find themselves 100 pounds overweight 10 years later. Everybody's story is different, how they got there. There could be a strong family history. The genes, I tell them, genes could play a different, varying role. Say the people who survived 7 years of bad crops because they're efficient at storing calories survived, while the wiry people who had to keep eating perished. That sort of contributes to why the majority of the adult population now is overweight. But the genes can play a role. Society plays a role. We were raised to eat according to a clock, clean our plate no matter what, eat according to a social situation. If we fell and hurt our knee, we were given a chocolate, and food became comfort food. And all that is annihilated what we call internal cues about eating. They're gone and we can't get them back. But it's all different. And what works for each individual in terms of weight loss is also unique. Some people, it's a very private thing that they do on their own. Some people join a group and that's how they flourish. For some, exercise is probably the main factor. But for many, it is diet. It'll be different aspects of diet for different people. But by talking about that first, before I make suggestions, it opens up and they get a sense, they realize that maybe it's not all their fault. Now they have to take control of it, but you don't want to blame them. And that's really important. And then I say, rarely do we have a magic bullet, that the answer to this isn't taking skin off a chicken and then all will be well. It's likely a whole bunch of little issues. And what I remind them is that 50 calories, less than half a piece of bread or whatever, is 50 calories a day times 7 days of the week is 350 calories, times 10 weeks is 3,500 calories. That's a pound in 10 weeks. 52 weeks a year, that's 5 pounds a year. From age 20 to 40, they're 100 pounds overweight. I see it all the time. But the reason I tell them that is because every little bit adds up. And likely it'll be a little bit of diet, a little bit of exercise. It would come up with different strategies. If portion is an issue, I tell them to buy antique plates. I deliberately say antique plates because they kind of think for a little bit because they're smaller. I say there's lots of reasons why our parents' generation didn't struggle with obesity the way ours does, and one is they ate less just because they had smaller plates. It's not psychological voodoo, and I tell them that. It's just you'll eat less. If there are people who ask them, do you eat in between meals? If they do, one strategy is to wait 15 minutes. I say, read another paragraph or another couple of pages in your book, or wait another commercial break. And if after 15 minutes, many times that'll cut your urge to have that snack or in between meals. I'll tell them, recommendations for the smaller plates. I'll say, well, try leaving 3 mouthfuls of food behind from as many meals as you can. So 21 meals of the week. If they could say at the end of the week, wow, 16 times I left 21 meals, I left 3 mouthfuls behind, they'll start losing weight. Some people just can't do that. I say, cut a meal and a half a day. One day lunch, one day supper, one day breakfast. If at the end of the week you say, hey, I cut 6 meals in half, they'll start losing weight. And it's just little things that add up. And of course, get moving. And it just takes a while to find what works for people. And in talking to them, you might realize that some of them know what to do, just can't do it. And that's where, if they're open to it, a referral to a psychologist who is versed in behavior modification, who can help your patient deal with barriers to do the good things and put up barriers for the bad things, and also to deal with triggers, to act on triggers to do the good things and to not act on triggers for the bad things. And if you devote time to this, and if they start understanding it, they can start applying some of these principles. I give lots of examples to them, and I tell them most of these won't apply to you, but hopefully some of them will be take-home messages. And that's how I get the conversation started with my patients about obesity.